My name is Mary Hardy, and in 1968 we were picked up by the elders of the planet. At that time my son was 3 years old, my older son was 5 years old, and we were asked to build a pyramid by the elders of the planet to protect this planet and to protect this area. In 1975 they activated Sawyer Air Force Base with ELF, and this pyramid was built in 1975 to act as a guardian over their attempt to give us extremely low frequency energy in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to promote Seafarer, which was a communication system with the submarines during the Cold War. This was to act as a buffer, and that is why we had to put it up in 1975. Now, when you have a pyramid, you have a receptacle or a resonating chamber. Also, when you have an obelisk, which we will go to and show you on the property, you have a sword. When you tune the resonating chamber, which is a cup, and the obelisk, which is a sword, you can send energy between them and move energy. Now, in the movie The Da Vinci Code, Tom Hanks said, this is a sword and this is a cup. And anybody like the Templars who wish to move energy understand the theory behind the sword and the cup. Just look at Chartres Cathedral. You have a resonating chamber which carries the book of love and the story that Jesus wrote, and you also have towers and steeples which represent the sword. So that is why Chartres Cathedral also has a labyrinth, and in that labyrinth you walk and you take the tachyon field on, and you can get sent to a higher dimension by just walking that tachyon field. The Templars understood that, and that is their gift to humanity. Also, there was a group of people called the Cathars, and the Cathars had the true writings of Jesus, and the Templars protected the Cathars, so they had the book of love, and the Templars took the Cathars' information and built it into Chartres Cathedral. So the true writings of Jesus are presented in the Chartres Cathedral in France. Thank you. Okay? Okay. Again, I have talked about the sword and the cup. Usually you see a sword or a cup. In nature, you have a high pressure and a low pressure. A high pressure is a clockwise vortex, and a low pressure is counterclockwise vortex. And this is how thunderbolts cause, and this is how pyramid energy moves. And a cup is a pyramid. Now, my friend here would like me to say that every year, the end of July, we have a conference here, and those people that attend are usually invited by the elders of the planet to bring peace, love, and happiness to the planet. I have also written a couple books, and I have DVDs. If you are interested, you can email me at mhardy@allegan.net. The book on the pyramids was written with a scientist called Kenneth Killick. Now, Kenneth Killick was really the founder of standing columnar waves, which Tom Bearden developed as scalar waves, but he was the real, true teacher of standing columnar waves. And if you watch a pyramid will pulse and create smoke rings going up, which is a scalar or a standing wave. When you tune that pyramid with this obelisk, you can send that scalar wave here simply by making the two antennas resonate with each other. And this year, what we did is we have been watching the crop circles. And a very interesting phenomena occurred with the crop circles. On June 21st, you had a crop circle that was a bunch of lines around a circle which showed the tip and tilt of the earth. Then on the morning of June 22nd, that crop circle had appeared with a solid vortex around the outside. The first crop circle in England near Silbury Hill was like a compass. That crop circle also appeared in the June 22nd, which showed that you had the north, south, east, and west balanced. You now had also a pillar of light. And what we used to bring the balance to that crop circle was the Great Pyramid. Now the Great Pyramid above the King's Chamber has what you call a jet or a series of chambers. That also appeared in the crop circle of July 7th, showing that on the 22nd, the planet was balanced into a stable orbit. That is what I believe that crop circle showed. And I would very much be interested in anybody's comment on what they see in this year's crop circles. Because the whole story of a balanced planetary system, a balanced halo around the sun, all of these crop circles are showing that the solar system has been brought back into balance. An interesting crop circle that appeared on June 25th was in front of Silbury Hill, which shows you a sword and a cup that was used to bring the balance back. And I thank you. Okay? Is that good? The first crop circle that appeared on May 13th in the United States near Gray, Tennessee was a definite crop circle that showed the cup and the sword. Just like I pointed out, this is the obelisk and it makes a vortex, and this is the cup and it makes a vortex. And what this said to me is that we had the right, and we were given the right by the Grays, because they chose Gray, Tennessee to do this, to create the cup and the sword to balance the planet. Okay? The first crop circle that appeared near Silbury Hill in Westshire, the UK, was what we call the compass. This is the compass, and it is near the White Horse. Okay? And this is a better picture of the compass. Now we place this compass over Stonehenge, and Stonehenge is the control panel for the whole grid in the world. So that is why the crop circles appear around Stonehenge on this chalk base, because it is like a writing board, but it also is a vortex energy generator which they can retune any ley line on the grid. That is why crop circles appear around Stonehenge. What we did with this crop circle is we placed it over Stonehenge. And this just tells a little explanation of how you can balance inner Earth with outer Earth. Now, I gave a talk at the Dowsers on June 7th. Look what appeared in about the same field because of the White Horse. Look what appeared, a heart. And for anybody to do any of the work with the grid, they have to open their heart chakra. It has to work through the heart chakra. Now this is just more explanation of how it balances the grid. And you see how this whole thing, this compass, created a balanced grid. This one appeared on June 9th. This was the Sunday after the first crop circle appeared, and it appeared in Italy. This represents the sun, and this represents the planet's frequencies lining up with the sun to bring balance to the planet. Also, when you create a sword in a cup, you put a diamond over the heart. One part spins one way, clockwise, the other part spins counterclockwise. This is how you create the sword in the cup over the heart. This also appeared in the same field near the White Horse on June 9th. On June 20th in Italy, you have the sun and the solar flares around the sun. And scientists don't understand why, but this has been a very quiet season. Now, on June 21st, again near the White Horse, you had this crop circle appear. This crop circle originally shows the imbalance between the orbit of the Earth. It's wobbling. And people like Hoagland and Wilcox have proven this. On the 22nd, now, you see this crop circle laid over that crop circle. Now it shows a balanced orbit. You see the compass, and since we use the Great Pyramid as the sword, you now see the King's Chambers pyramids represented above this beam of light, which is a jet. Again, here shows the first phase and the second phase, showing the pyramid, the crop circle is brought into balance. I believe, I do not know, that this is the first time you saw one crop circle appear on one date and a second one appear over it on another date. Whoops, I'm not going to mention the skull, but we use the skulls to communicate. Now, the flower of life is a balancing point, and before all this happened, you had the flower of a life appear in Slovakia. Okay? Bringing perfect balance. Now, last year, we used the flower of life to balance the Olympic Games. And again, this crop circle appeared in front of Silbury Hill near the White Horse. And that represented, during the Olympic Games, they put up a lot of Ferris wheels, and we did the flower of life to balance out the Ferris wheels. This is an example of our antenna system. As I told you, this is New Sakkara right here, in relationship to Sawyer Air Force Base. In 1975, to communicate with submarines so they didn't have to surface, they used the Seattle Space Needle connected to Sawyer Air Force Base and the Toronto CN Tower to create a system of ELF through the oceans. This is the symbols of the Olympic Games. It says Zion 2012. 2012. Zion. Here, you see this little guy? Represents a Ferris wheel. If you look at the top of the stadium, the Olympic Stadium, you see all of these little caps. Behind a lot of the sacred sites, there's a Ferris wheel, there's the Brighton Fountain. Okay? Just a minute. Okay. This is how big the Ferris wheels were. They built 13 of them, and then with the Eye of London, they had the 14th one. This is what they did with the Olympic Stadium to create a Stargate. Each Ferris wheel was connected with that little hat that you saw on the man, and you have 14 of these. This is the Brighton Fountain. Brighton was a big vortex, and how we do the Holy Grail vortex is comes down from the point of light, from the point of love, from the center where the will of God is known, from the center which we call the race of man. This is how you do the Holy Grail vortex, okay? Now, you had a period at the turn of the century in 1999. They created the Millennium Dome. They tried to move Stonehenge over to the Millennium Dome to create a Stargate. This was built as a children's amusement park. In no way is that a children's amusement park. Now, on June 25th, as I said, after we did this, after we balanced the planet, we had this crop circle appear in front of Silbury Hill, and this is a cup, and this is a sword, saying that we had used this system to balance the planet. Now on July 7th, this crop circle appeared, and again, this shows the compass, and this shows the structure in the Great Pyramid combined in this unified field. On July 6th, you now see that the solar system is in balance. This is another one. This was rumored as a man-made, but it also shows the ionosphere grid connected to the Earth grid. And you have pyramids going between those, presenting the tip and tilt of the Earth. This is an interesting one. 9 petals represent completion. This is going in and out. Now humanity has the right to move from the center of the galaxy Alcyon to the Earth when we make our transition. And these are just other crop circles that appeared, showing, this one shows carbon going into crystalline state, and you have a variety of this. Now on July 16th, we had a very powerful moon, and this is information showing that. Again, showing the carbon state going into the crystalline state. This is Wiltshire, July 22nd. It shows the phases of the moon. And for those who, a very important date. What's interesting about this is in July 4th, 1996, this appeared near Stonehenge. In 1996, the Templars came to me and asked me to work with them to balance the grid. And this was the Knights Templar. And this was the last crop circle that appeared on July 24th. This session was made for our seminar, which was July 26th, 27th, and 28th. So this was the last crop circle before our seminar. And I thank you for letting us explain what I believe the crop circles say this year. Thank you.